What's up, everybody? It's the Talking Panel. Welcome to another day, another video. I am back with another book recommendation video. So here it goes. The star of today's video is this book right here, The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. Now, if you've seen one of my previous videos, then you're familiar with the name Khaled Hosseini, right? Khaled Hosseini is an Afghan-American writer. He was born in 1965 in Kabul, Afghanistan, but in 1980s, the family moved to the United States. There, he wrote 3 novels, The Kite Runner, A Thousand Splendid Suns, and The Mountains Echoed. The Kite Runner came out in May of 2003 and was published by Riverhead Publications. Now, ever since it came out, this is one of the best-loved novels, and it is highly acclaimed by writers and critiques across the world. It has already been named as the book of the decade by The Times, The Guardian, and The Daily Telegraph. If you're wondering if the 3 novels are interconnected, then no, they aren't. But I would highly recommend that you read this one. Okay, a little confession. I really wanted to save this one for later on my YouTube journey because it is a very special book and it's very close to my heart.
There was this feeling inside me that I wanted to save it for later. But whenever I would open my Almira, to see the books that I would make a recommendation video on, it would always catch my eye.
Last night, I was just looking at the books and this caught my eye again, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a video on this now. Books of these kind really need to be read at their own pace. You have to sit down, you have to prepare yourself that this is what my life is going to be around for at least a couple of weeks. I was really torn into 2. One part of me wanted to read it again, but the other part of me knew that if I started it again, I would not be able to lay it down and the video would be delayed for later. And hence, I just went with the latter part and here we are now. Okay, so The Kite Runner. The theme of this book is set in the 1970s and it is a warm depiction of the mixed Afghan cultures. It actually conveys what real Afghanistan was like, a happy living place before all of the coup, the Soviet invasion, and above all the Taliban and the aftermath of 9/11, and how it created image of Afghanistan as a failed state that was petrified in backwardness and locked in the role of a villain. I have to tell you that it is an emotional book and it will demand 100% of your attention. Once you start reading it, you would not want to lay it down because of the impact that this book will have on you, because the way it's written, the characters, the plot, the culture, everything will consume you. And rightfully so, you will not regret even an inch of the time that you spent on it. When I was reading it, I went through a roller coaster of human emotions. Right off the top of your head, how many emotions can you name? A lot of them, right? The starters would be happiness, sadness, love, affection, jealousy, gratitude, and a lot. But this book is about the strongest of them all, redemption. It talks about friendship. It shows how friendship is a strong connection between 2 people, especially children, how they feel in friendships and what hardships children have to go through. Now, this book is a powerful play of friendship, and it actually follows one man's journey to confront his past and seek redemption. The plot of the book is so magically written that it'll drown you in its brilliance. You would not want to come out of this. It is one of those books that when it ended, I was not just myself for at least a couple of days. One of the problems with these kind of books is that there is the dilemma of the reader. When you find an interesting, intriguing book, you don't want to put it down, but you also don't want it to finish. So there's a conflict of emotions that is within you, that is pulling you from reading it calmly, but there is also this pushing feeling that want you to read it hurriedly. You want to know everything of this book, but you also want to take it slow. What are you going to expect from reading this book? A lot of warmth from it. You're going to experience friendship in it, and you might go down a memory lane of your own. I won't spoil the book for you, but I would like to share some of the thoughts that had been written about this book and what people had to say about it. Now, The Observer says, shattering, devastating, and inspiring. The Times has to say, Hosseini is a truly gifted teller of tales. He's not afraid to pull every string in your heart and to make it sing. The Daily Mail says, rings true with tenderness and truth. A gripping read and a haunting story of love, loss, and betrayal. guaranteed to move even the hardest heart. The Independent. The Daily Telegraph says, a devastating, masterful, and painfully honest story of life crippled by the act of childhood and cowardice and cruelty. It speaks the harrowing truth about the power of evil, political and personal, and intoxicates like a high-flying kite with power of hope. Now this one is my favorite. This is one of those unforgettable stories that stay with you forever. All the great themes of literature and of life are the fabric of this extraordinary novel. Love, honor, guilt, fear, redemption. It is so powerful that for a long time after, everything I read seemed bland. This is by Isabel Allende, author of The House of Spirits. The New York Times says, Khaled Hosseini gives us a vivid and engaging story that reminds us how long his people have been struggling to triumph over the forces of violence, forces that continue to threaten them even today. Now, this is something that you'll observe when you read the three novels, that Khaled Hosseini actually paints a picture for you that is at the brink of two times. One lies in the pre-Taliban era when Afghanistan was flourishing, the people were happy. You know, there are stories in every household, around corners of the streets, and post-Taliban era, the devastating realities that shook the world. Afghanistan is hopeful but is fearful. There is love, but there is so much hate. There is violence, and the story just becomes dark, but also shows you the reality that Afghanistan went through. You know, I love to revisit the books that I've already read because they bring a new perspective in you. Now you're reading it as though you're a part of it. I read this quote a couple of years ago. I don't remember it exactly. You know how you notice that books get fatter with time? It's because when you read them, a part of you, your soul, your emotions get entrapped between the pages of the book, and that's why it gets fatter. And it just really sits well with me. That's the kind of reader that I am, and I remember I cried a lot. It is a heartbreaking novel. You know, I'm telling you, you will not come out the same person. It's going to change your heart, make it bigger, more empathetic, to make you appreciate the little details of life and how even sorrow can teach us so much. Even pain can be our biggest companion, and redemption, the temple through which we find the reason for our living. And it surely will help you rekindle your previous friendships that have lost with time. Of course, I wanted my mother to read it too, so I ordered it and for her in Hindi because she's an avid reader. She loves to read novels especially. So I went online and searched for it, and yes, it was available in Hindi because my mother is very much comfortable in that language. So I bought it for her. By the way, this book is available in as many languages as you like. If you're not comfortable in Hindi, then you can find it in one of the languages that you prefer. As I was saying, I got it for my mom, and you know, a couple of days later I had to go because I was visiting my grandparents in another state. So I went there for a month and a half, and you know, while I was staying there one afternoon, my mom called me and she just said on the phone, you know, her voice was heavy, and she said, I finished it. And I had tears in my eyes. The memory of it is so vivid in my brain right now. I'm actually reliving that. If I will leave you with one sentence, I just say, you know, it's still January, and if you haven't bought a book yet, I'd say that make this the first book that you buy this year and read it. I'm telling you with all my heart and soul, you will love it, you will cherish it, and this will make a great place in your heart. So with that, we have come towards the end of the video. I hope you liked it, and I hope, I really do, that you get this one, get your hands on this one. And with that, I'd see you very soon. Bye.